So this is part two of this vlog session. So the reason why I'm recording a second part is because I didn't get a chance to say everything in the first part because my phone said that the temperature was too high for the phone to handle, and it's because it's like 106 degrees out right now, so it's in Sacramento. But I wanted to continue on with my thoughts. So as I was saying about the structural engineering and architectural portion of the or having an edge in this business, this real estate business, if you have those skills, I wanted to explain that a lot of the stuff that you can do yourself can be taught and learned, not just through YouTube, but based off of your own professional experience. So what I've done, and everybody says you could use YouTube for everything, but the reality is that you need some experience in order to figure out what they're talking about, to get insight into the next thing, in order for you to successfully do a renovation project or something like that. But like, for example, I didn't really think much about the tools I was using until I started using them. I realized that it's not a matter of, like, everybody's got a certain level of understanding that, you can use a drill, and they're like, okay, the drill is a drill. But then once you start getting into it, you start realizing that certain drills are better than others at doing certain things, and you better pick the right one. You also have to, other brands are better than other brands, and you don't even know what's out there. So for you to look into it and understand what's going on, like, if you don't immediately think that what brushless means, then you probably are not an engineer or have no understanding. Like, it's a more efficient electrical system, and thus it will output more energy, even though it might be rated the same way as another tool of the same type. If it's like brushless, it's more efficient, so it will output more torque, or more mechanical work with what you're trying to do. So there's like all these things where if you're an engineer or you're an architect or something, you have an edge, and you can do the right thing much better than anybody else. There's these comedic routines oftentimes that go over typical issues that people have, and you almost never, if you have these professional backgrounds, you're pretty much not going to, it's very unlikely you're going to make those same mistakes, because you're going to be able to think it through much better than just somebody who's got a BA degree, I want to say a liberal arts degree, who has no idea what they're doing. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is that you can understand it from a design point of view. So like I said, my place, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing something very unique, but potentially going to make it the best property on the block, because I don't even think anybody has even thought about this. The railing on these properties, and they're low-income properties, the railing has to be 50 years old, and it's never been replaced. I'm going out of my way to put glass railing and figuring out the engineering for it. I know exactly what I need to do, but if you are a common investor, even a flipper, you probably wouldn't even think about doing any of those things. And I'm also covering the brick wall, and I've already finished it, or finished putting the brick wall, covering it with gypsum board. And so I put a furring stud wall over it, and I anchored it with concrete screws. So, obviously, I probably needed it to be permanent, but let me tell you something. I looked at the brick wall, no freaking concrete. So technically, it's not seismic. It's not shouldn't be structural. So it's like, you can do whatever you want. I mean, pretty much. I mean, like, obviously, technically speaking, if I was going to add weight to it, I would need to, I would have to find a way to put rebar inside and make it, structurally in plane and have in plane strength. and even even some out of plane strength. But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's just the gypsum board's going to go on it. It's going to add, I would say, probably 10% more weight. Oops. But that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so what I'm going along with this is I wanted to switch over to a different topic. It's similar to it, which is the impact of COVID-19. Now, I actually had the virus in July, and that affected my workflow. So that was really tough. But you know, I was able to get through it. It wasn't as bad as what people thought. It felt like a nightmare that you couldn't escape. Like, you know how like a nightmare you just accept the bad consequences, and just it makes you feel like it's going to be permanent. But then it starts to get better and better. So I would say the only thing that it's left me with is having a little bit of cloudedness. Now, I exercise and stuff like that, but that cloudedness, that mental cloudedness, will never 100% go away. And I still have it to this day a little bit, but obviously it's not that bad because I can still do work and stuff like that. I just know it's there. Anyway, so the impact in general of COVID-19 on businesses has been great, or gigantic. So in the sense that now people are working from home, their bosses are now seeing that it's a possibility, and they're allowing people to do it. My boss has allowed me to do it permanently, and funny enough, people thought housing prices were going to decrease, but they're actually increasing. So my property is also appreciating very well too. Let's see what else. I mean, it's just got a lot, but those are the good things. The bad things, I would say, is that it's been making things harder to get through. So, for example, the court system, you virtually can't use the court system at all, even if in normal times it would work out for you. You can't take things to court or anything. So they're going through an eviction moratorium, and people can't evict tenants that are not paying or for any reason or something like that, for the most part. And that was my exact situation. So I was having an issue with this tenant for about 5 months before they got scared and left, and it was hell. Like, I was just trying to do whatever I could to try to get them out, and I couldn't do it. So I couldn't, because of the laws, I couldn't just go in there. And there was one thing I didn't do right, which was that I could have actually gone in there claiming that it was like a dangerous thing, because if she wasn't paying, I had pretty much every right to enter and say that basically that the contract has been broken at that point, and I could have just documented it and say this is why I entered. And that's one thing I regret doing, because the physical presence can never make up for anything the emails and whatever you put that are non-physical can never make up for the physical presence. So she could have paid right then and there if I had shown up and she saw me. I don't know what else I would have done, but hopefully I wouldn't have had to bring a gun, but that's beside the point. So that whole thing, that whole fiasco is still, like, I still haven't gotten my money back from it because of this whole COVID thing. But on top of that, I'm not trying to track it so hard because I got other important things to do. Other things are more important to me today. For example, actually making it more marketable so I can get a better tenant in the future is way more important to me than to deal with this tenant who may not even pay me a single cent, because even if there was a warrant for arrest, she may not even do it. It's like there's no point. And the only time is if I was actually making, if I had a lot of good success, is when I should probably go out there and do it again. But it's like one of those things where it's an old project, and you can revisit it again when the time comes, or when the time is best for you. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep continuing on doing what I gotta do, and yeah, that's just what I got to do. So um, I don't know what. I'm pretty damn sure there's an end to all of this, but until that point, it's just gonna be a continuous struggle. So you know, for those supporters out there, keep supporting, keep leaving good comments, leaving good encouragement. At this point, I'm no longer interested in trying to go out there and doing crazy stuff. I'm about to take a vacation to Colorado, just because I need it, because I need a vacation in about a month, so, or actually about 3 weeks. So this is the first time I'll be going to Colorado, and I'll probably vlog a little bit. But see, it's the idea is that it's supposed to be a relaxing thing for me because I haven't taken a vacation since 2019, technically. That's fall of 2019. I went to Seattle with a coworker, but it's been a while, and I think it's well needed. So I just hope to see you, maybe vlog a little bit more later, and I'll be out and about, and probably just, if somebody wants to talk to me, I'll just say, hey, I'm YouTubing or whatever, or vlogging. So yeah, it is what it is. It's a tough situation we got here with COVID-19, and it's got everybody scared. I want to say the other thing about COVID-19 is, in my opinion at least, is that it's made people a little bit more antisocial. So I go to these places and they're not being very, they're kind of steering away. Like there is one aspect to it, which is that I gain weight, and so people are not as attracted to me as they used to be. But there's also the idea that COVID-19 is making everybody like scared of everything. So they just don't want to have social interactions anymore. And I guess I understand, but it's like I thought it was bad before COVID-19 in California. I thought it was bad before that. Like why are we all awkward and antisocial as fuck, especially in the Silicon Valley? But it's gotten even worse after COVID. So I thought it was bad enough, but and I think I've gotten a little bit more antisocial as a result as well, because I haven't been able to practice it. There's just like nobody wants to go out there and just be a human being. They just want to go back on their phone, on their TikTok, and just try to and just waste a lot of time. They don't even want to go run, or they don't even want to go exercising. And I understand about the diet thing. If they don't want to have a good diet, I understand that, because like obviously my diet's not good either. But it's just, I don't know. It just got all this crap going on. It's tough. And I don't know. Hopefully it'll end in the sense that people get back out there and just throw themselves out there and are okay with being social again. I'm not being I know a lot of people that I knew, and that, remember I told you that I let go because I don't want to be their friend anymore. They're probably looking at that as being antisocial, but in reality, they're just not supporting my mission. So I prefer not to be around them. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll probably vlog a little bit more just to get more thoughts out, and have a good day.